Welcome back, focused learners. Okay, let's dive into this. Did you know that historically speaking, literally billions of dollars are wasted globally in the construction industry? And a huge chunk of that is simply due to client miscommunications based on flat, misunderstood blueprints. Well, today we are taking a really fascinating journey into the very near future to see exactly how we're going to fix that. We're looking at how we'll experience unbuilt spaces, specifically focusing on the photorealistic architectural walkthrough trends projected for the year 2027. This explainer is going to unpack the cutting-edge tools and processes that are transforming architecture from static, boring floor plans into living, breathing digital worlds.
I want you to take a second and really imagine something for me. Imagine being a client, or maybe a prospective buyer, and you're preparing to commit millions of dollars to a massive new commercial property, or even just your own future home. Traditionally, that comes with a ton of anxiety, right? Because you're basically trying to decipher a 2D drawing that, let's be honest, you probably don't fully understand. But by 2027, you aren't just looking at a flat piece of paper anymore. You are actually walking the halls. The sheer relief and awe of stepping inside a digital reality changes absolutely everything. The entire perspective of the client shifts from crossing their fingers and just hoping for the best to actually experiencing the design long before a single physical brick has been laid.
Section 1. Visualizing the year 2027, the future of property presentation.
So when we talk about photorealistic architectural walkthrough trends for 2027, we're referring to the specific technologies and workflows expected to shape how buildings and properties are visualized, presented, and most importantly, experienced in the coming year. Honestly, these technologies are overhauling the industry so rapidly that traditional rendering firms are entirely restructuring their pipelines as we speak. So the crucial point is that this isn't just about rendering pretty pictures anymore. We are talking about a complete, from-the-ground-up overhaul of the underlying visualization workflows to totally transform the client's encounter with an unbuilt space.
Moving on to Section 2, Trends Shaping the Experience. The technological building blocks.
I mean, look at this incredible list of trends we're pulling from the source data. We've got AI-assisted visualization, completely speeding up the creative process, real-time 3D rendering, and highly immersive virtual reality and augmented reality experiences. Then add in interactive walkthroughs, the creation of digital twins, hyper-realistic materials and lighting, and finally, data-driven architectural storytelling. Now, if we group these dynamically, you'll notice a distinct split. On one side, we have the highly visual, immersive tech. You know, the VR, the AR, the realistic lighting that the client directly interacts with. But on the other side, we have the powerful back-end data drivers, like AI and digital twins, that actually make that seamless presentation possible in the first place. And let me tell you, that real-time 3D rendering is huge. It completely eliminates those excruciatingly long waiting periods for graphics to load. So no more staring at a spinning wheel on a monitor while your client awkwardly sips their coffee, waiting to see what their new kitchen looks like.
Let's really zero in on this specific concept for a moment. Data-driven architectural storytelling. This is vital. Why does this matter so much for the presentation of properties? Because clients don't just buy square footage, right? They buy a feeling. They buy an experience. The sources share some incredible anecdotes about this, like a client who was completely on the fence about a layout, but had their mind instantly changed purely by seeing the warm afternoon sun accurately cast across a virtual living room floor. By utilizing realistic lighting and materials that look perfectly true to life, architects are moving far beyond static images. They're creating a compelling, emotional narrative that shifts the entire client-architect dynamic from a rigid, high-pressure sales pitch into a fun, collaborative exploration of the space.
Section 3. The Convergence Workflow. Building the virtual reality step by step.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we're going to map out the actual life cycle of a 2027 building model. This sequential pipeline is basically our roadmap for today, charting the beautiful step-by-step process of taking raw, incredibly complex architectural data and turning it into a living, digital environment.
It all kicks off at the foundational layer, steps 1 and 2. Step 1 is your traditional architectural data, your building information modeling, or BIM, and your CAD information. You can think of this as the digital mathematical skeleton of the building. It's rigid, it's highly complex. But then, in Step 2, that raw, heavy data is rapidly accelerated and enhanced by artificial intelligence workflows. The AI steps in to basically handle all the tedious parts of the process. It automatically does things like perfectly UV mapping textures onto surfaces, or instantly generating literally thousands of complex lighting iterations just to find the absolute best setup. It preps a pristine canvas in seconds instead of days. Then we hit steps 3 and 4. That AI-enhanced data is dropped into a real-time 3D engine. Instead of taking hours to render just a single frame of a living room, the engine instantly brings that data to life, calculating light and shadow entirely on the fly. And because it's rendering in real time, it can then be published as a fully interactive experience. This has a profound psychological impact on the client. When they put on a VR headset or pick up an AR tablet, they are no longer a passive viewer. They become an active participant right inside the architecture. Because they can walk around freely, they spot design flaws faster, they suggest natural adjustments intuitively, and most importantly, they feel an immediate, visceral sense of ownership over the space well before construction even starts.
And finally, we arrive at step 5. This is the ultimate destination of this entire workflow. Long after the client has approved the design and the physical building is constructed, that interactive model doesn't just get thrown in the trash, it gets connected to what's called a digital twin. Now, a digital twin is a living, breathing, virtual replica of the physical property that actually receives real-time data from the built environment. So imagine being a facility manager in 2027, putting on an AR headset, and being able to see exactly which HVAC unit hidden in the ceiling of the 15th floor needs maintenance, simply because the physical unit is sending live, predictive data directly to your virtual model. The architectural walkthrough evolves into a permanent, highly useful operational tool.
Section 4. Defining the next stage. The power of convergence.
The absolute core concept we need to grasp here is convergence. The source data strongly points out that it is exactly this convergence, the seamless blending of BIM data, AI, real-time engines, VR, and digital twins into one unified, uninterrupted workflow that will define 3D architectural walkthroughs in 2027. Why does this matter? Well, because this collision of tools fundamentally breaks down the traditional silos between architects, engineers, and clients. Instead of passing flat documents back and forth in a disjointed, frustrating chain of communication, everyone is finally unified inside a single, shared digital reality. It truly creates an entirely new standard for how we design and build our world.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating question to ponder. As AI gets smarter, as real-time rendering becomes completely photorealistic, and as interactive storytelling puts the client right inside the blueprint, what happens when our physical and digital spaces become completely indistinguishable? The future of virtual architecture isn't just about seeing a building anymore. It's about feeling it before it even exists. And the ultimate winners of this technological convergence aren't just the architects. They are for sure the clients, who finally get to actually walk through their dreams before writing the check. I really hope this explainer has given you a clear, structured understanding of the visualization workflows coming our way. Keep learning, stay focused,